Alright, today we're doing a pork shoulder. We're going to make some pulled pork. Was going to inject it, but we had a technical issue and my injector broke on me when I was getting it ready. So we're going to do it a different way. Got the pork shoulder here. I rinsed it off. Again, I rinse my meat. If you don't, that's great. I don't like the little bits of bone or whatever that gets stuck when they cut it. So that's just me. Got a little knife here. Already poked some holes in it. Just kind of stab it around a little bit. It's going to get, I don't have the injector, so this will let some of the liquid get into it. Flip it over. When you get a pork shoulder, if possible, and you can see it in the store, you want this good fat marbling here. You want some good fat running through it. Nice fat cap. It is kind of slick, so it's hard to hold. Got a decent little fat cap on it, so this is going to melt off in the smoker and it's going to keep everything nice and tender. Get a few more holes poked in it. And now sometimes you can rub oil on it, sometimes I use mustard to help the seasoning stick. Today this was my injectable. So this is a 1/4 cup Worcestershire sauce. I use Liam Perron's. It's a 1/2 cup apple juice, apple cider, and a 1/4 cup apple cider vinegar. I use Bragg's. And then I'm just going to kind of pour it over it since I don't have my injector. So hopefully it gets in. I've done this before. It works great. It's no problem. Over. Since I don't have the injector, I'm going to leave what's left. There's roughly a little over 1/3 cup or so left. I'll save that for when I wrap it, and I'll add that in with some apple juice also, along with what's left in the pan here. So the next thing I do is I got some real maple syrup. I'm going to just pour this on it. Just give it a little rub there, rub your butt. I won't flip it all the way over because I don't want it to wash off here. Just kind of let it pour down the sides. And since I just got a little bit left, I'll just go ahead and put it on there anyway. Alright, so now got the maple syrup on there, so that's what's going to help the rub stick. Again, same as I used on the ribs. I got the pork barrel barbecue seasoning and rub. Again, you can make your own, use your favorite. Doesn't matter. It's not rocket science. There's tons of videos on how to do pulled pork, pork shoulders. This is just my take. It's very simple. Some of them make it seem so extravagant or difficult. It's really easy. It's just prepping it this way. So I'm just going to give it a nice liberal rub of this. Since it's such a big, large piece of meat, you want to get it covered pretty well. It's fine if some of it comes off in there. It's not a big deal because we're going to cover it and let it cook for 2-3 hours in this liquid later on down the road here after it smokes for a few hours, 3-4 hours. And then to get the ends here, I just put a little bit in my hand. Just kind of rub it on there. Get a little bit more on the top side here. When I put it on the smoker, it's going to be this fat side up. That way it'll melt and go all over it, keep it nice and moist so it won't dry out. Brown sugar, I use dark brown sugar. Use whatever you want. You can use light brown, it doesn't matter. Dark brown has more molasses in it, so it gives it a little bit better crust. And then just kind of the same with the ribs. I did just kind of pack it on the top. Use as little or as much as you like. If you don't want to use any, that's fine too. But it just adds a nice sweetness to it, and also the sugar helps to break down the meat some, makes it a little bit more tender. And then when we get ready to pull this, as you'll see later on, it's just gonna fall right apart. The pack it on there pretty tight on this. And then that's it for that. And then we're gonna take it, put it out on the smoker. That's it. Great. Alright, so this Woodcreek pellet grill comes with 2 probes. It's also Bluetooth enabled. There's an app you can use. It's pretty cool. I haven't even used these probes yet, so I need to unhook them. Alright, got my probe plugged in to the grill. I'm gonna leave it right there for a moment while I get this on there. The grill's at 225 for the smoke. So I'll let it drain off for a second. I'm going to reserve that, put it in the fridge till we need it. Putting my probe into the thick part, trying to find the bones over on this side, so I'll go in this side. It'll smoke on there for 3 to 4 hours or so. I'm not sure yet. I'll let y'all know when I come back. We're at the 6-hour mark, so previously I said 3 to 4 hours. Actually, I spoke out of turn. It should be about 5 to 6 hours. I let it go for 6 hours. So here's what we have so far.
And the temperature?
Temperature is still 225, 26. Internal temperature is 147. So I need to unplug my probe. We're going to take this inside and we're going to wrap it. This is the reserved liquid from earlier. Alright, so this is the reserved liquid that I wanted to inject. If you can, make sure you inject it. You don't have to, but it infuses the flavors a lot better into the meat. So I'm going to just take this. I'm going to just drizzle it because you can see we got a nice bark going on here. So don't want to do too much. I'll pour the rest in the pan. And I'm going to take some more of the apple juice. Don't need a whole lot. And you can use whatever juice you want. You can use apple juice. Any kind of fruit juice works. You can just use water. Take and wrap it up. Wrap it up as tight as you can get it. And this is what's going to make it nice and tender. We're going to put it back in the grill. I set the temperature. When I brought it in, I turned it up to 250. And we're going to go ahead and take it back out. Alright. Put it back in here. Plug my probe back in. Going to go back in here for about 2 hours. Still have an internal temperature of about 148. We want it to get up to about 204, 205. And then after we take it off in a little while, we're going to go ahead and let it sit for about 45 minutes to an hour before we pull it. So I'll show you guys that when I get ready to take it off. Alright, so we're at about almost 9 hours now on this cook of this pork shoulder. So got a temperature of 200 internal. You can let it go up to 204, 205 if you want the meat softer. You can take it out at 195, that's fine also. I'm going to take it out right here at 200. So I'm going to turn the grill off. Nice feature about this grill also that I like, since we're getting storms in the area, is it has the lights inside of it. Turn the lights on. Makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing. Unplug the probe. So we're going to take this in and we're going to let it sit for, I'm going to try and let it sit for about an hour, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how it pulls apart. Alright, so this has been sitting for an hour. So the moment of truth is here. I'm going to unwrap it. Look at the finished product. It looks wonderful. See how it's pulled away, the bone sticking out there. I'm gonna pour this off and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I got all the liquid poured off of it. So I'm gonna take it, I just use my hands with these gloves, these barbecue gloves. You can use claws if you want. But I'm going to see how this does. I'm just squeezing it, pulling right apart. Bone came right out. That's what you want. Look at that. Nice clean bone, no meat stuck to it. That's why they call it pulled pork, right? Just pull it apart. You don't need any claws. That's why I like these gloves. You can't feel the heat, and you can just break it up with your fingers.
Where'd you get them?
Oh, I got these gloves on Amazon. I can't remember the brand name of them, but they're good ones. They handle up to 700-degree temperatures. Just wash them like you wash your hands when you're done. Just wash them with some Dawn and hot water, and they clean up really good. I think I got another bone in here. Nope. But that's about it. I mean, we're going to eat. Come right apart.
Subscribe.
So subscribe to my channel. I'll have some more barbecue and some other different recipes too besides barbecue. Y'all have a good one.